Welcome to the Hot Seat powered by Affordable Staff. David Judge here, and we're at the very last episode of Season 1 of the Hot Seat that we release every second Tuesday and where we talk to industry influencers that have worked hands-on in the real estate industry. We find out where these influencers see current and future trends and what you can do about it to grow and support your business. Now, as this is the last episode of Season 1, I thought what better way to wrap it up than to interview our very own outsourcing specialist, Damien Barnett. Damien started in the industry over 18 years ago and has had transitioned to work with us a little over 3 years ago. Now, Damien is sharing his experience as a property manager and now a service provider to the industry. And in this interview, we discuss how technology is getting in the way of building relationships, the difference between a property manager and office administrator, and why the industry currently has too many office administrators, the changing world from one job for life to many jobs in one lifetime, how certain agencies are embracing AirBnB and making a motza, and we preview you to the 60-second hot seat, which is something that we're releasing in Season 2, which is heaps of fun. Now, I've known Damien as a client and now as a fellow team member in Affordable Staff, and I can tell you that he invests a lot of time to make sure his finger stays on the pulse in the industry. So like I said earlier, we had a lot of fun recording this, so let's get into it and roll it. Welcome, David here, and I have...
Damien, how you going?
Yeah, I'm good. How you going?
Yeah, really good, really good.
Now, we are at the final episode for the first season of the Hot Seat.
I know, it's gone quick.
Yes,
it's gone really quick.
It's gone really quick. And I thought, what better way to finish off the first season than to get Damien in and to have a bit of a chat to him about where you've come from, where you're at now, where you see the industry going. And I'm going to preview you to something we're doing in the second season, which is the 60-second hot seat.
Should I be worried?
You should be very worried. That's what I didn't feel that in the first season. I didn't feel it was hot seaty enough. So we thought that we'll make it even more hot seating. So far, we haven't had anyone cry. We have had a few people lost for words.
I could be the first.
I
could be the first.
Okay, so let's get into it. And let's start off by, first of all, tell us about yourself. Tell us about your history in the industry.
Yeah, so I'm Damien. I've been working in and around Affordable Staff and the outsourcing world now for just over 3 years.
Yes.
My background's in property management and real estate. Started off when, as a young person, I actually bought a first investment property. And developed a love for it.
When was that?
I actually can't even remember the date. A long time ago.
Do you remember the year?
No, it was...
20 years ago?
It would be pushing 20 years ago.
20 years ago,
yeah.
Okay, yep.
Probably 20 years ago. So from there, at that time, I left school, working at Coles at the time,
Yes.
Supermarkets and retail world, and thought, you know what, it can't be that hard to be a property manager. I could sit on the other side of the desk, it'll be easy. My first day on the job, I just copped it.
Yes.
I had landlords and tenants and everybody were just into me, and it's like, oh, there's a bit more to this than look. So,
what was the first agency you started in?
up in Mackay, so it was a Ray White.
Ray
agency.
White?
Yeah,
Okay,
Ray White
White
agency. So, it was an interesting welcome into the industry.
Baptism of fire.
Oh, it was not as easy as I thought, and it's one of those jobs that I think that a lot of people don't understand how not difficult it is, but how much you deal with and how much you're juggling every day of the week. So. Yeah, it was interesting to have that insight. So from there, came back to Brisbane, worked in a large agency in Brisbane, had 1,400 properties on the rent roll or thereabouts. It was sold.
How many properties were you managing at the time?
165 to about 185, 190. My limit was about 185, 190. I started dropping the ball, and I didn't deliver what I wanted to at about that level. So,
what level of automation did you have at that time? Like, what sort of support? So, software that we have now today, like we've got a lot of software and support.
Yeah, so we were server based. It was completely server based.
Okay.
Business.
My desktop.
We didn't at the beginning.
Okay.
I introduced that to the business. Yeah, I helped introduce that to the business because I'd come from Ray White, and so they used that. And we had this new product called Inspect Real Estate.
Really?
Yeah.
So you came in at the same time.
So thereabouts. Yeah, it was one of those products that revolutionised making what we were doing a lot easier. So we were pretty much end to end. I had admin support, but I didn't have. There wasn't the cloud software that did a lot of the stuff that you can get done for you nowadays. Everything was manually done, come back to the office, type it up.
Yes.
I think mobile phone plans at the time, you could probably get 1 gigabyte of data on your mobile phone plan, and that was your expensive mobile phone plan. So
Yes.
you couldn't send stuff from
your mobile.
from your mobile back to the office.
So you had to come back to the office, etc.,
and
etc.
upload it. So there's a lot of efficiency that isn't there nowadays. So from there into a little boutique inner city Brisbane office.
Yes.
And I suppose like when I was working that's when I met you. When I was working in that larger agency, we had version 1. I'm going to say it was almost version 1.
Yeah,
that
was Damien's,
estate.
Yeah, that was your first VA that you
First
had
real
interacted
estate VA. Here's this person in the Philippines. Can you go and just take care of him?
Is that how it happened? Because I just know that we spoke one day on the phone, and I was dealing with the principal at the time.
Yeah. So from my point of view, I didn't deal with you. I sort of saw you sitting in the office, and I was like, "Here, we've got this person. I can't even remember the lady's name."
I know.
And yeah, here you go. She's yours, Damien. Off you go. I was like, okay. And I suppose to a certain extent, that was the experience a lot of businesses have had with outsourcing in the past, compared to, where we're heading now with outsourcing is so much more, version 10, 15, 20, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. It could be 100 by now.
Yeah,
So
I'd say it would be.
because, it's improving. Improves as infrastructure's improving in the Philippines.
I think, and the availability of software in Australia.
Yeah, and
everything's moving to
the
cloud.
The cloud software has certainly made it easier, but also brings other risks.
Yes.
And other things that people have got to consider, which they didn't have to consider with server-based software. So it's been a good transition. Over the last 3 years, it's the real estate property management virtual assistant world has changed so much. Like, it was probably 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah,
I suppose I met you and had that very first
interaction
with a team member that wasn't working in the office. And like I'd personally worked remotely when I was in Mackay. I worked a lot from Brisbane, and that was a remote desktop connection. And
so you were familiar with it.
I was familiar with it and some of the challenges, but this was another person that I didn't know if they could speak English at the time. Well, I knew they could. I've spoken to them, but we communicated via Skype. That was a work from home person at the time.
That was before we were set up in an office.
Before it was even you're looking at security, like from a security point of view, and all of the stuff that we've had to do to actually make sure that we're secure and that we can offer a real presence to real estate and to property managers and financial services and all of those other different fields that actually require that level of security. So it's been a huge journey. The last 3 years has been huge.
Yes.
So
yeah, as a business, it's been huge. We've grown in new premises, etc., etc. So you then were working in the boutique agency, and then you came across to work with us.
Yeah, came across to work with you.
And now you're working with clients all around Australia,
New Zealand. Yeah, it's and like even just the amount of travel now is. I don't know, we're remote and I can get a hold of people, but that face-to-face contact.
Yeah, is critical.
Is critical. Valuable, especially some of the clients there. We're not talking about, small businesses. Some of the bigger businesses that we're talking with definitely want that face-to-face contact and to know that we understand the industry. That.
So, what do you see as being the biggest challenges in the industry right now, as a provider?
As a provider, or actually as a person that works in real estate in the real estate world, and I'm watching the outside. There's this race to the bottom, and I know Malcolm covered off on it.
One of the episodes.
Yes. There is this race to the bottom where the value proposition of a real estate business and property management is just getting thrown out the window. We'll do it for 1%, 2%, 4%. I was talking with one of the people that I talk to quite regularly, and for some reason in Victoria it's become commonplace at 5% acceptable as a management fee. Like 5% you wouldn't get out of bed for. Yes. Whilst I know there's automation and that's helping increase efficiency.
Yes.
The reality is, you're still worth more than 5%.
Mm.
And if you're not, then maybe you shouldn't be in the industry.
Yes.
Sorry, that's a bit of a big call, but realistically, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that when you look at many different industries, because I've been a business owner now for a number of years on and off since the year 2000, and work with my dad actually in the mid 90s. He started up his first ISP. That was before Big Pond and Telstra and Optus and all the other guys came along. And you notice that industries go in they go in different swings, where you'll see the industry start to become really, really price focused. Like the pizza industry was really price focused there for a while. And then you'll have people that will provide a particular level of service or a way to differentiate themselves that insulate themselves from that price competitiveness. Yep. But a lot of the people that are out there that are like you said, going for that race to the bottom, you called it, Malcolm called it. Yeah, those are the ones that end up in a way disrupting the industry while they're fighting for the...
Well, you've got to get paid a fair fee for what you're doing. If you don't value yourself, then why are you in business?
Yes.
I don't understand it. The other challenge that I see at the moment is there's so much tech getting thrown at principals. There's so much spin and wham bam, I suppose, sort of bright shiny light stuff that's getting put in front of principals and business owners' faces, going, this is the next big thing, this is what's going to disrupt you. But the thing that really matters is a personal connection. And time again, we're a people business. Real estate's always been a people business. I know in us in the outsourcing world, we're a people business.
Yes.
So unless it's helping you build a relationship, I don't see the point of it. At the moment, and there's so much, people are being pulled every which way, and there's prices attached to this, and it's getting really difficult to, I suppose, differentiate what's actually real and what's not. So I find that a real challenge. I see that as a challenge, especially for business owners that are trying to control costs within their industry. Make sure that they're competing against lowering fees, rising wages, increased subscription costs across different across their platforms, and trying to have a voice out in the marketplace. That's really difficult. So so over the next couple of years, what do you see as being some of the big disruptors coming in? And I asked that. We were meeting up with a client in Western Australia, and they were saying that they see a big disruptor for us as artificial intelligence, or automation, as it's more commonly known. Yeah.
Do you see that as a disruptor for the industry?
No.
What would you see as being disruptors for the industry?
Listen, I see longer term. I see artificial intelligence as being some type of being a disruptor. But it needs to be actual, real artificial intelligence, be able to think for itself, not work on a set of programmed prerequisites, and that's just automation.
Yeah.
I think our biggest enemies ourselves in the industry. We're undercutting each other, we're knifing each other in the back over fees, and it's getting ruthless out there. But Airbnb's already here. I don't think there's going to be this great big Uber one day come in. Like, Airbnb's already here. It's already growing market share. It's already, a lot of people prefer to stay there than hotels, and now it's starting to move into the residential world. We've got real estate agencies that are, initially fighting it. Now they're embracing it and going, you know what, we can help you. You've got a problem. We can help manage your Airbnb listings right around Australia.
There's a larger larger percentage from a management perspective, isn't there?
Yeah, Airbnb are charging massive fees.
Yes.
And they don't seem to have a problem with their value proposition.
And as a property manager that's moving into the Airbnb space, is there... You'd also have to arrange cleaning and
there's other stuff that you need to do, like a hotel, but the value's there for it also. So you're getting paid good percentage of that income to do that. So, and it seems to be acceptable that's they're not 1%.
And what do you think? Because traveling around in 2018, one of the common things that I've heard from people that are against Airbnb, they're talking about things like about it overall damaging the value of properties in the area. They're talking about people having parties, etc., within the area. Do you think that's a real concern?
It can be. I think it can be. But I'm probably more. The taxi industry said the same thing.
Yes.
When Uber came out. So, yeah, it's competition.
And Uber is a better offering, in my opinion, than the taxi system. I haven't used a taxi since
last weekend. I caught both.
Yes.
I used a taxi because I knew to get me there. My Uber driver actually, for the first time ever, got lost. And you know what? That was right. He was nice about it, but he got lost in a tunnel in Sydney.
Yes.
To get back to the airport at 4:00 in the morning, I wanted to make sure that I was going to get there, so I called a cab. Price wise, there's not the big differentiation in price anymore. Probably the big thing that I noticed was that the cab still charged a surcharge on the credit card, and I wish they wouldn't. Like that's probably, for me, I have no problems catching either. I just want to get where I want to get to.
Yes.
But Ubers have really started stepping up their game again. They're offering water. There's lollies. There's doing that. You get a Toyota Camry with fake leather seats and a nice person. The person behind the wheel is probably more knowledgeable than an Uber driver. But the whole experience isn't as good. So.
Okay, so then if you take that and you apply that across to the property management industry or real estate, where you're talking about the end user or the consumer, and then you look at 35% of people in Australia are managing properties for themselves.
Yep.
65% of people are self-managing properties in New Zealand. And then you have a look at and step back to whatever percentage of people are left, and then if you were to apply a broad brush and say, okay, well, if we compare it to using a taxi or an Uber, that it's focusing on what the end user wants.
Yeah.
And for you, it was getting to the airport. So that was important.
That was important.
Yeah. So can you see benefits then in property managers or real estate agencies going back and thinking about their consumer?
They need to.
Do you think that happens? Do you think it is happening enough?
No. It's all about our consumer. Why are there 35% of people that are self-managing? It's not about price, because I'm sure there's someone in Australia that'll do it for almost free.
Yes.
So what is it? Why is there? Why do they not want to do that? It all comes down to trust. Why don't they trust us? Because we hide behind legislation. I think, and we have for too long. We've been unwilling to put it all out there and go, this is what we do for our fee.
Yep.
And then we're not willing to justify what we do for our fee. We're not willing to change. I still get autoresponders every day from sending emails. Hi, we're in a fast-paced industry. I'll get back to you in the next 48 hours. Sorry, gone. 2 hours. If you don't return an email in 2 to 4 hours, you've lost the business.
And you've recently gone through a renting a property.
Process. Yeah, I have again. Yeah, I have. Listen, and I have a couple over the last couple of years. I've been through a couple. I had someone send me an automated message to go, hey, I'm changing the appointment time from today to tomorrow, and that particular appointment was directly across the road from their office. Why couldn't they, one, pick up the phone? Because a text message doesn't communicate with me.
Yes.
Or two, why couldn't someone else just walk out? It was literally across the road from their office. And they changed the time to tomorrow. Was it they just didn't feel like going?
So they didn't communicate why? It was just this.
There's no communication. There was just text message. Here's a text message, automated text message, email, bang. I thought, the place has been leased.
Yes.
Actually, out of that, I only had, out of 16 agencies, in that first experience, I only had 3 people actually pick up the phone and call me at any one time to talk to me. They were the 3 properties that I put applications in on. That place that was sitting across the road from that office was still vacant 2 months later and had been reduced in price over $70 a week or $60 or $70 a week. So I don't know, we're supposed to work for our landlords, but we seem to, in my opinion, that particular agency just being lazy and not working for the best interest of the
especially with the increase of number of people that are rent vesting.
Yeah. We've got clients, as you know, that have got their tenants that are giving them properties and recommending their friends. Why? Because they've got a relationship. They don't hide behind, I work for the landlord.
Yeah.
I
Which
work-
is
I work-
Melbourne property management. I think Sarah was saying to us in an interview that that's one of the things that she's noticing.
Yeah.
Is it because of a lot of her tenants are rent investors that's how she's building.
That's just build. And there's more than that though. But like they're getting in there and they're actually having open communication with all of the people they do business with, whether they're contractors, whether they're tenants, whether they're landlords. Like they're all people, and they've all got, they're all on a property journey. Whether it's the 18-year-old kid who's just finished school and renting for the first time, what services are they going to need over the next 10 years?
Yes.
20 years. They're probably going to, rent somewhere bigger, buy a house maybe, or buy a unit, turn that into investment property, buy a house, get married, or live together with someone. It's that particular 18-year-old person is a potential repeat client for the next 10 years. And when you talk about asset value of how much is an investment property worth, an asset value, why wouldn't you want to treat that 18-year-old tenant that's just come out of the school like you would the landlord who's 65 and owns 4 properties?
Yeah, because the direct impact of that just in that scenario would be reducing the number of days on market, because you know that you have quality people there.
You have quality people. Like there's quality people. You've got potential to grow your business, not for the short term. It's not just it's not the shot in the arm money. Yes, I've rented this place. I've got a letting fee.
Yes.
It's, hey, I've actually built a relationship with this person whilst they're living in one of the properties that we manage for a minimum 6 to 12 months. I've built a relationship that potentially could bring me more and more business over the next 10, 20, 30, 40. That could be a customer for life.
So I'm hearing you use the word relationship a lot.
It's a people business.
Yes.
It's a people business. And you have to have a relationship otherwise.
So do you think going back to the disruptor and changes, do you think a disruptor could be removing ourselves from the relationship?
I think they are if we keep fighting to the bottom and we don't have any value.
Yes.
And we don't place any value on what we do.
Churn and burn.
Yeah, if all we're doing is ticking the boxes, then I'm sure R2D2 could do that in 5 years' time. It's one of those. Like if we talk about McDonald's,
yes,
we go and but one of their training processes is do you want fries with that?
Yes,
upsell. Talk, work through the process. Make sure that deliver. Every single person's trained to deliver on that customer service.
Yes.
For us, we don't even talk to people. Like, I don't know about McDonald's. I know they've gone to like a self-serve style. Put your thing in.
Put your order in here and then come to the counter and collect it when it's ready.
Yeah. I don't see too many people using them. I do the younger kids.
Because it's that generation.
And they probably and maybe that's.
And you probably can because it's a lower transaction value.
But most people are lining up they'll wait 5 or 6 deep to get served by a human being to have that interaction.
But I can see if you talk about the lifelong value of a tenant who can then become an investor. If you look at that value to a business.
Yeah, it's not just management fees. Are potentially $5,000 asset value for a property plus whatever income you make off them renting it per property. So I look at the whole business is realistically about relationships. And if a computer or an automation can come out and disrupt the industry, and hey, there's 35% of people that aren't even renting with us, so they're looking for a platform where they don't have to talk to anyone. It probably costs them nothing to use it.
Yes.
Or maybe they're actually looking for someone to care enough to actually want to build a relationship and get to know them. And it's not about the money. Maybe it's never been about the money. It's just about
an understanding of valuing.
Yeah, and making them feel important. Not only send me maintenance via email because I don't want to talk to you. No, I'll get back to you when I feel like it. Like, I'm sorry, who's your customer?
We used to book all of our own flights.
Yep.
We've recently started using Hello World Travel, George.
George, yeah?
Yeah. It was a lot of work managing flights and trying to figure out where we're going to and from, etc., etc. I didn't see a reason to use a travel agent, but now it's like every time we talk about a flight, we constantly talk about George.
Yep.
It's not another brand. It's not a Flight Centre or whatever else. It's always talking about George. George shows extreme value. He's not cheaper than if we were to do it ourselves. But if you look at the exchange of time, looking at flights, etc., and George will always come back with things outside of the square as well. So I can tell that George knows what he's doing.
Yep.
And he doesn't do that by I don't even know what he charges us. Isn't that interesting? I have no idea what his fee is, but yeah.
But from an experience, but you had an experience really early on where something went wrong and George helped you out.
Yes.
So what's that worth?
Oh, that's invaluable.
So I just see especially for real estate and property managers particularly, we're a process-driven business, but we're a people business, and I think we're forgetting the people. And the more we forget people, the more we're becoming an the more we're becoming an automation.
Yes, and that applies across both sides, doesn't it? Because you had a brief stint in real estate sales.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, property management being an ongoing relationship with lots of micro transactions or lots of transactions where you're continually, as opposed to a real estate sales where it's one in 7 year transaction.
Yeah,
and theoretically with the same
person. Well, it wasn't for me, but it was one transaction, and it was interesting to see how you got treated.
Yes.
That actually really surprised me how people treated a sales agent compared to a property manager. I suppose they didn't need what I had. They were coming to look at, so the roles had sort of reversed a little bit. I needed them to buy, and not necessarily where people looking at an open home for a tenant, they were looking at the house, so they wanted to buy. So
yes.
It was interesting, and there's a lot of sales agents out there that they just forget about them too. But as an industry, it's something we've got to address. Yeah. Because if we don't address it, then it will be automated.
Real estate property management, still about relationships, yeah?
Definitely. Sales is too.
Yes.
Everything's about relationships. It's not just, it's not just real estate, it's business.
So how would you see yourself as differentiating yourself in the industry then? Look at your example of this current round that you went through, where you said, what did you apply for 12 properties and you had 3?
So that was a previous one.
Yeah.
This particular round we went to 3.
Yes.
3 places only. The first place we didn't like. The second place we turned up and we had a person actually just open a door for us on a Saturday and not even say hello. She was too busy on a phone. Interestingly, same brand. Different office, but same brand.
Yes.
And the third one was we've had communication, but it was also happened to be the agency that one of the agencies that rang me the first time that I'd had a good experience with. Across the board, that was their standard. So whilst the knowledge probably wasn't as high with that person,
yes,
it was way, way better than anyone else that we'd seen in the marketplace over the last 3 or 4 weeks. And all it was someone talking to you. Instead of sending an automated message going, do you want to apply? Picking up the phone and going, hey, you interested in applying?
Yes. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break because we need to reset our cameras, etc.
Okay.
And we're going to come back in a second. And I'd like to talk a little bit more around differentiating yourself in the industry and special advice that you'd have as a property manager and a person in real estate sales now as a service provider. How you think you could continue to grow in the business. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Welcome back, and here we are on the hot seat at the end of season 1 with Damien.
Hello, how you going?
Yes, I'm good. Okay, so before we went on to the break, we were saying that I wanted to ask you around someone differentiating themselves in the industry and what special advice you give for them. Now, this is from a person that was a property manager, real estate agent, as well as now a service provider to the industry.
Yeah. So the number one thing is you've got to get customer focused. You've got to get hungry for a customer and get in there. So what I mean by that, sit down and look at what your value is. Have a look at the things that you do every single day of the week. Are they adding value? Are they customer focused? Should you be doing them
yes.
For what you're getting paid? Like, is that a task that is suitable for your level in the business? Or is it something...
Can you think of an example task?
Processing arrears.
Processing arrears.
Let's start with processing arrears. Not nice, easy, got to do. Every business does it every single day. There's, do you need to actually push the button in your software?
Yes.
That sends the SMSs and the emails to your tenants.
How much would it take out of a week, do you think? In a standard, let's say an agency of 500 properties.
Standard doing a whole process can take up to an hour.
An hour a day?
Up to an hour a day.
Okay.
Which, it's an easy task that people don't think about, but sending your SMSs, following up, or is your value better served contacting the tenants going, hey, what's going on?
Yes. Contacting
the owner, updating them, actually having a conversation, turning that into an opportunity to have a conversation with both tenants and owners to build that business.
You can achieve a lot more in an hour from a relationship perspective.
You can make a lot of phone calls in an hour.
Yeah.
You can. And, it's not that scary.
Okay, so looking at tasks that someone's performing. Obviously, this is, in an outsourcing model, this is what you'd be focusing on. But I think I can see it applies a lot if you're looking at bringing on administration people locally within your business, and giving them a career progression path or a succession path for yourself. That's what
we have a lot of clients that are like that, though.
Yes,
that also have and I know we're talking we're an outsourcing provider. But we have businesses that have local staff that are working alongside the virtual assistants, because that is a career progression.
Yes.
Cut your teeth here, then move your way into this and start building, I suppose, an actual career path, so that when you get to that senior property manager role, you understand it from beginning to end, as you work through cadetships and all of that type of stuff.
Yes.
In the industry, and you're a killer person, you're a killer property manager then. So
okay, so the special advice you give, it would be to summarize, would be to look at the tasks that you're performing, and what if you were to assign a dollar value to the tasks you're performing, whether or not they were bringing in money, etc., etc. I know that one of our clients, that's the first thing that she did. She sat down and she put everything into 3 columns, which was based on the advice she'd given her. And to have a look at tasks that were dollar generating. What were the 3 columns?
Dollar generating columns, client facing, and then just had to be done, basically.
And they had to be done to the stuff that they outsourced
straight away.
Yeah.
And then they're working on some of the dollar producing stuff.
Yes.
So there's little bits and pieces, and there's parts of every process that can be outsourced, and can get assistance with, and or can be built up with the local team, so that it doesn't necessarily take that senior person to do that within the business.
So just on the outsourcing side of it then, and to make it a uncomfortable subject,
yep.
Property managers, from what we're hearing within the industry, there are, as the industry is being disrupted by what we're doing and automation and different softwares that came out years ago,
yep.
You have property managers that are administrators.
Well, they're not property managers. They're administrators. Yeah.
Yes.
So you have, I think you've actually got 2 classes of property managers now. You've got administrators and you've got actual property managers.
Okay.
That are customer focused, building a business. They're sales. They're realistically salespeople, small business owners within a business that are only focused on growing that business, making more money, and then you have a plethora of people that are keyboard warriors, I like to call them, that want to hide behind a keyboard and don't want to talk to anyone and would hate to pick up the phone.
Yes. The industry's changing though, isn't it?
The industry's changed. Even like the last 6 months, and you've been working with me over that period of time, like how much it's changed in the last 6 months.
Yeah. We recorded this interview 6 months ago. We're re-recording it because it's just changed so much.
It's changed so much. The industry is evolving. There's new players in the market. There's the rate of change is accelerating so much that it's you either got to change or get left behind. The horrible thing is, from a business owner looking at a business owner, if you don't embrace the change that's going on,
Yes.
and I know we did something around a conference lately about embracing change, but if you don't embrace the change that's going on, whether that's outsourcing, whether that's other software systems, efficiencies within your business, then I can't see you being in business in 2 years' time.
Financial viability.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, if you have a look at X number of properties and then you reduce the management fees in those properties to focus on getting more properties, I guess. What if you actually sit there and you look at your profit and loss and you do a cash flow analysis on that sort of stuff, which is some of the alliances that we've had previously, where they accountants that actually break that down, that you can see that it's not financially viable. So something has to change.
Something has to change, and unfortunately, there's a lot of businesses that I'm seeing out there that will work it out too late. We've got cloud software now that allows people to work from home.
Yes.
That brings challenges, as I know. Like it was, going to an office every day is comfortable. Getting out of bed and working remotely is challenging because you've got to motivate yourself. There's no one there to go, hey, you're not at the office at 8:30.
Yes.
You've got to keep yourself motivated. It's easy to put the washing on. I'll just put the washing on, and I'll just do this, and all of a sudden half the day's gone, and I've achieved nothing. So I think there's a lot of challenges for business owners. The models that we have now, I don't think will be around in 10 years' time.
Yes.
I don't think we'll have shop fronts to the capacity that we do at the moment. But you need to change and keep rolling and working with it. And I think as business owners, working through with those people that are slow to change, because not everyone changes at the same rate. You'll have people that, as we know, take it on, and then there's people that are resistant to it. But it's the people that are resistant to it that make it worthwhile. Because our experience has been, they've been the people that have been the biggest advocates in the end.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's a true story.
Yeah.
Because I must admit, if we just talk about the outsourcing stuff again for a sec, in relation to the industry, 3 years, we watched early adopters. I think early adopters at the beginning part of it. And then everyone else is just sort of stepping back and watching.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing over the last 12 months that it's changing from early adopters, and now it's starting to switch to a little bit more mainstream, where I think it's going to shake up the industry more, and you're going to have people, as the industry shaking, they're going to drop off the side of the ship, jump off as it's going, and then you'll have others that will remain and continue to change and adapt to those changes. We're in business, like if I go back 18 years ago, I was running a restaurant. I thought that was it. I thought that was the peak of my career. And look at it now.
Well, I never thought I'd be in this world. And I don't know, and the exciting part is I don't know where I'm going to be in 10 years' time.
Yes.
And what I'm going to be doing.
But you know that you'll be able to adapt to the change.
Yeah. This is awesome. But, this is, I suppose, a step in the process.
Yes.
For me, and that's the way careers seem to be nowadays. And I look at my son, their thoughts on employment and stuff are completely different to the way we were. We were sort of, you have a job for life, and I suppose we were back end of that job for life. But now it's you have a whole heap of gigs, and do stuff. So
gigs, that's right.
So it's been interesting. And outsourcing, we look at there was early adopters. We're looking at some of the stuff now, and some of the work that we've had to do, and that we're I suppose going to be releasing in 2019 is pretty exciting, just to help out in the industry and look at, it's been a real change. And I'm going to say, you're talking about, didn't think I'd be doing virtual assistants. I didn't think I'd be doing, when it came to virtual assistants, what we've done for the last 3 or 4 months, and we'll probably be doing all the way through Christmas.
Yes.
To get ready for 2019. So, it wasn't what I expected. So
we're adapting and moving to the change.
Yep.
Okay, so in season 2, we're doing something called the 60-second hot seat. And it's not really 60 seconds, but we call it the 60-second hot seat.
Get up. I can get up.
Yeah, that's right. And this is the part where Damien runs out of the room. And it's a series of questions. If you don't want to answer any of the questions, or you don't have a quick enough question, a quick enough answer for me, you can just say pass. I haven't had many people say pass yet.
Haven't you?
No, but I haven't shown this to you yet. So,
no, I haven't seen it.
And I'm going to ask it nice and fast, so you find it difficult to try and keep ahead of it. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Not that I'm really asking, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so 60-second hot seat questions.
I can't even read that.
Okay, your number 1 bucket list item.
Greece.
Favorite hobby.
Golf.
Strangest thing you've ever eaten.
Snails.
Chicken feet was mine. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Pass.
How do you spend the first 3 hours of your day?
First 3 hours is normally sitting around. I've got a pretty all right morning routine. Depends if I have my son with me or not. So
let's say with your son.
With my son, it's normally get up in the morning, do a bit of exercise, meditation. I like to spend a bit of time by myself, then get him up. Now get him up, get him ready for school, and try and spend a little bit of time. Like he's getting a bit older now, so
yeah, you're not cool anymore.
No, I'm not. I'm not cool, am I? You can just ask him. He says I'm not cool. So
yes.
It's like I've reached that stage. So hopefully in 10 years' time I'll be cool again. So.
Okay, if you had a super yacht, what would it be called?
Maxine.
Oh, what is your biggest non-negotiable?
Sleep.
Morning or night?
I'm a night person.
Weapon of choice?
Machete.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Biggest fear?
Not waking up in the morning.
University or experience? University or the School of Hard Knocks? School of Hard Knocks?
Yeah, definitely experience.
What motivates you?
My family.
Greatest failure?
Oh, greatest failure. Oh,
you can't pass that one.
I can't pass that. No, I have to think about it. Can I come back to it?
Okay, Friday or Monday?
Monday.
One item you could not live without?
Underwear.
Excellent. Cat or dog?
Dog. Definitely dog.
Greatest failure?
Greatest failure? I don't think I've had a greatest failure. They're all been learning opportunities.
Excellent.
Like they literally, things that have gone wrong, and there's been some doozies over the last 4 years that have just opened doors to bigger and better opportunities. And you go, why was I worried about that?
Yeah. Yep, I agree. How many keys do you have in your key ring?
3.
Ah, see, fantastic. It's always interesting to ask that last question of a property manager or an ex-property manager because I'm not sure, do a lot of property managers have to carry around keys all the time?
Yeah, they do. They have buckets of them and lanyards and all of this stuff. So, yeah.
I remember when I worked in retail, as a result, I hated shopping.
Yeah.
Property managers hate keys?
I don't shop at the supermarket I used to work at. I try and avoid it if I can. So it's just one of those things. It's too familiar and you see stuff that you don't want to see. So
Okay, excellent. So that was it. See, that was nice and easy.
I know. I can't wait for season. I'm looking forward to season 2. Season
2, when are we launching? What date did we say?
I think it was February 5, was it?
5th of February.
5th of February, 2019.
Tuesday, 5th of February, 2019.
Yep.
And I don't know, can we share about some of the exciting stuff that's coming up?
Stay tuned, I reckon. Stay tuned and we'll release some of that stuff in the coming weeks, I think.
Yes.
Now it's coming to the end of 2018. It's starting to get ready for 2019. So I know I'm really excited. I know I haven't slept a lot, but I'm really excited. I'm really excited about 2019 and the way it's going. So
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Damien.
Thanks, Dave.
For coming on. Like I said, we re-recorded this because we recorded it 6 months ago, and everything's changed so much in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's all great. It's all great stuff. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching and or listening to The Hot Seat. Here we are at the end of season 1, and we look forward to talking to you all at the
time. Have a good Merry Christmas.
Yes, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and all that sort of stuff, and we will talk to you all in the new year. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. Thank you for listening to this episode with Damien. And before you go, I'd ask if you enjoy the episode that you subscribe to our podcast, which you can find if you search for The Hot Seat wherever you listen to podcasts, and leave a review as they really count. I also wanted to remind you that The Hot Seat is powered by affordable staff, and if I am 100% honest, we could not put The Hot Seat together without outsourcing every component. We literally record our footage, the one that I'm doing now in audio, send it to our Philippines office, and they do the rest. So thank you very, very much to our team, especially Ira. Okay, great. Thank you again for all of your support in season 1, and I look forward to listening to. I look forward to catching up with you on season 2 of The Hot Seat. Okay, bye.